Okay, we're picking up where we left off last time. We're on Genesis 20. Let me see. Oh, sorry. I don't know how I ended up in Psalms 20. Genesis 20. Abraham moved south to Negev and lived for a while between Kadesh and Shur. And then he moved to Gerar. While living there as a foreigner, Abraham introduced his wife Sarah by saying, "She is my sister." So King Abimelech of Gerar sent for Sarah and had her brought to him at his place. But at night God came to Abimelech in a dream and told him, "You are a dead man, for the woman you have taken is already married." But Abimelech had not slept with her yet, so he said, "Lord, you will destroy an innocent nation? Didn't Abraham tell me it was his sister? This is my sister?" And she herself said, "Yes, he is my brother. I acted in complete innocence. My hands are clean." In the dream, God responded, "Yes, I know that you're innocent. That is why I have kept you from sinning against me. Why did why did you why I did not let you touch her? Now, return the woman to her husband, and he will pray for you, for he is a prophet. Then you will live. But if you do not return her to him, you can be sure to know that you and your people will die." Abimelech got up early the next morning and quickly called his servants together. When he told them what had happened, the men were terrified. Then Abimelech called for Abraham. "What have you done to us?" he demanded. "What crime have we committed that we deserve treatment like this, making me and my kingdom guilty of such a great sin? No one should ever do what you've done. Whatever possessed you to do such a thing?" Abraham replied, "I thought that this was a godless place. They will want my wife, and they will kill me to get her. And she is really my sister, for we both have the same father but different mothers, and I married her. God called me to leave my father's home and travel from place to place, and I told her to do me a favor. Wherever we go, tell the people that I am your brother." Then Abimelech took some of his sheep and goat, cattle, and male and female servants, and he presented them to Abraham. He also returned his wife Sarah to him. Then Abimelech said, "Look over my land and choose any place where you would want to live." And he said, "Sarah, look, I am giving your brother 100 pieces of silver in the presence of all these witnesses. This is my compliment for the wrong that I have done." It says, "This will settle any claim against me, and your reputation is cleared." Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his female servants, who could not have children, for the Lord had caused all the women to be infertile because of what happened to Abraham's wife, Sarah. Now we are going into Genesis 21. The Lord kept his word, and did exactly what he had promised. She became pregnant, and she gave birth to a son for Abraham at his old age. This happened just at the time God had said it would, and Abraham named his son Isaac. 8 days after Isaac was born, Abraham circumcised him, and God had commanded. Abraham was 100 years old when Isaac was born, and Sarah declared, "God has brought me laughter. All who hear about me will laugh at me. Who would have to say that Abraham and Sarah would nurse a baby? Yet I have given Abraham a son in his old age." When Isaac grew up and was about to be weaned, Abraham presented a huge feast and celebration for the occasion. But Sarah saw Ishmael, the son of Abram, from his Egyptian servant Hagar, make fun of her son Isaac. So she turned to Abraham and demanded, "Get rid of your slave woman and her son. He is not going to share inheritance with my son Isaac. I won't have it." This upset Abraham very much because Ishmael was his son. But God told Abraham, "Do not get upset over the boy and your servant. Do whatever Sarah tells you, for Isaac is the son through whom your descendants will be counted. But I will also make a nation of the descendants of Hagar's sons, because he is your son too." So Abraham got up early the next morning, preparing food and a container of water, and strapped it on Hagar's shoulder. Then he sent her away and their son, and she wandered aimlessly into the wilderness of Beersheba. When the water was gone, she put the boy in the shade of a bush. Then she went and sat down by herself about 100 yards away. "I don't want to watch my boy die," she said, and she bursted into tears. But God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven, "Hagar, what's wrong? Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying, and he has, as he lay there. Go to him and comfort him, for I will make a great nation of his descendants." Then God opened Hagar's eyes, and she saw a well full of water. She quickly filled her water container and gave some to the boy to drink. And God was with the boy as he grew up in the wilderness. He became a skillful archer, and he settled in the wilderness of Paran. His mother arranged him to marry a woman from the land of Egypt. About this time, Abimelech came to Phicol, his army commander, and visited Abraham. "God is obviously with you, helping you in everything that you do," Abimelech said. "Swear to me in God's name that you will never deceive me, my children, or my descendants. I have been loyal to you, so now swear that you will be loyal to me and my country, where you live as a foreigner." Abraham replied, "Yes, I swear it." Then Abraham complained to Abimelech about a well that Abimelech's servants had taken by force from Abraham's servants. "This is the first I've heard of it," Abimelech answered. "I have no idea who is responsible. You have never complained about it before." Abraham then gave some of his sheep, goat, cattle to Abimelech and made a treaty. But Abraham also took 7 additional female lambs and set them off by themselves. Abimelech asked, "Why have you set these 7 apart from the others?" Abram replied, "Please accept these 7 lambs to show our agreement. I dug this well." Then he named the place Beersheba, which means well of oath, because it was where they had sworn an oath. After making their covenant at Beersheba, Abimelech left with Phicol, the commander of his army, and returned home to the land of the Philistines. Then Abraham planted a tamarisk tree at Beersheba, and there he worshipped the Lord, the eternal God. And Abraham lived as a foreigner in the Philistine country for a long time. And that is the end of Genesis 21. And we'll stop there and we'll come back with Genesis 22 tomorrow.